everyone, my name is Ellen and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play With or Without You by U2 on the guitar, so stay tuned if this is something you'd like to learn. And before we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons on my Patreon page for voting for this song as this month's patron picks. If you want a little bit of voting power in what songs you see on my channel, make sure to check out my Patreon page linked below. Alright guys, this one's going to be super beginner friendly, so I'm really excited to show it to you. First of all, make sure your guitar is in standard tuning and go ahead and put your capo on the 7th fret. This is going to make it in the same key as the original song, and it's going to let us play the most easy chord shapes that we can. Speaking of which, you only need to know 4 chords to play through the entire song, and none of them are bar chords, so they're super beginner friendly. And I'm going to show you 2 strumming patterns today, although it's kind of a choose your own adventure because I would only suggest using one or the other. But we'll get to that in the strumming portion, so let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial and we'll start with the chords. Alright guys, so like I said, you only need to know 4 chords to play through this song. And the first one is G, which looks like this and sounds like this. Next we have our D chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. Next is our E minor chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. And the last chord is C, which looks like this and sounds like this. And those are the only 4 chords you need to know to play the whole song. So an extra thing about this song that makes it so beginner friendly is the order that I just showed you the chords in is actually the same order that you'll be playing those chords for the entire song. So throughout the whole song it goes from G to D to E minor to C, so it makes transitioning a lot easier. So go ahead and pause and practice and make sure you can transition these chords pretty nicely. I do have a video right here that talks about transitioning if you want to check that out. But once you have those transitions under your belt, let's go ahead and move into the strumming patterns. Any of my other tutorials, you'll know that the very first strumming pattern I always suggest beginners start out with is just one simple down strum on the beat. And I think this is going to be really great for those of you who just have trouble with singing and playing at the same time to kind of get used to where those transitions are going to be, as well as just for some practice, like chord transition practice. So let me go ahead and just show you how this works really quick. You're going to want to start with your G chord because that's the first chord in the song, and you're just going to strum down once. Then you'd move into your next chord, which is our D, strum down once. Then we've got our E minor, strum down once, and then our C. Alright? And so basically what you want to do is go through the entire song and make sure that you know where those chord transitions are going to be. For example, what word you're singing if you're going to be singing. So let's go ahead and go through a quick example. See the storm set in your eyes. See the thorn twist in your side, and I'll wait for you. Alright, so that's just a little taste of it, but you want to go ahead and go through the entire song and just make sure that you can do that and you know where those transitions are. It'll be a lot more easy and helpful for you to move into some of these other strumming patterns. So let's go ahead and jump into the first actual strumming pattern that I would suggest using for this song. So my first pattern suggestion would be the very versatile down, down, up, down, up pattern. And so it's going to sound a little something like this. So now that you've heard what the rhythm sounds like, let's go ahead and put a chord with that. So we're going to start with our G because again, that's the first chord in the song. And what I'm going to do is just play through the pattern a few times, and I want you to jump in whenever you feel like you've got it, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, pattern is you can actually use it to play through the entire song once you get those chord transitions in there. So let's go ahead and practice those chord transitions. Again, we're starting with our G chord since that's the first chord in the song, and we're only going to play this pattern through one time for every chord change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. G, So great, that's actually how you would play it for the entire song. And like I said, you could use this strumming pattern for the entire song, and I think it sounds pretty great. However, I actually like to use a different strumming pattern that I think sounds a little bit more accurate to the original song. So let's go ahead and jump into strumming pattern 2. All right, so this second strumming pattern is actually the one that I like to use, which I'll use in the cover portion of this tutorial. But as you can see, it's just 8 down strums, super simple. And we're gonna, again, play this pattern through one time for each chord. So let's go ahead and listen to the rhythm first. All right, so now that you got the rhythm, let's go ahead and practice that a little bit together by putting our G chord on and just going through it a few times. Again, I'm gonna play through this a few times and I want you to jump in whenever you feel ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Down, 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 down. So go ahead and jump in. All down strums. Down, 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 down. Awesome. So you might have been able to hear while we were going through that little portion there, I do like to accent certain beats. So if you can see here, I'm going to underline the beats that I accent, which are the 1st, the 4th, and the 7th. It kind of just drives the rhythm a little bit more instead of having it all just a monotonous down strum. So instead of just strumming them all with the same force, you're going to accent the 1st, 4th, and 7th beat. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? So again, that's optional. That's just something that I find myself doing a lot of the time. So if you want to add that in there, I would suggest it. It kind of gives the rhythm a little bit more drive. But now that you got that down, let's go ahead and put the chord transitions back in. So remember, we're just going to play this pattern through one time for every chord change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. G. One last thing I do want to tell you guys about, again, is totally optional, but something that I find myself doing as well, is in the original song, I feel like it starts out kind of like softer, and then it kind of grows in volume and intensity as the song goes forward. So what I like to do there is I will add a palm mute to this exact same strumming pattern, and it kind of just dampens the sound a little bit, which I actually think sounds really good with this song. So let me go ahead and show you an example. Again, I'm using this exact same pattern, I'm just using a little bit of a palm mute. See how it kind of softens this pattern, makes it a little less ringy and a little more dampened, which I think sounds cool. See the stone set in your eyes, that's totally optional if you want to add that in. All I'm doing is laying the side of my pick hand, so kind of like the side of your palm, and you're just gently laying it on your strings between the sound hole and the bridge. And so every time you strum, instead of letting it ring, you're just gonna have it be a little more muted like that, okay? And if you need a little extra help with palm muting, I do have a full tutorial on how to do that as well, so make sure to check that out if that's something you need help with. So like I said, I actually prefer using strumming pattern 2 for my little playthrough cover portion. However, strumming pattern 1 will work as well. You could even do like a mixture of both if you wanted to. So it's all up to you. You have a lot of room for creativity. Now that I've shown you the basics, it's your turn to have a little bit of fun. So make sure to click right here to join me for my playthrough cover portion of this tutorial where we'll play through the song together, and there will be the chords and lyrics and everything you need to know on screen in front of you. Or if you find this to be a little bit challenging, no worries, you can always check out my Patreon page where I have printable, downloadable guitar guides that has everything that I've said in this tutorial on paper for you. Or you can play along to my backing tracks, which are customizable, and you can slow things down, speed things up, turn things on and off, so you can tailor your practice session to what you need. Or if you still need a little bit of help, you can even send me videos of you playing and asking me your questions and things like that, and I will send you a video response back. So again, that's all available in my Patreon page, which is linked in the description box below, so make sure to check that out if you would like to. Speaking of which, I'd also like to give a huge shout out and thank you to my existing patrons for making videos just like this one possible. It's because of your support that I'm able to keep this channel running, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and you guys rock. So that does conclude this portion of my tutorial. Here are my social media sites in case you'd like to follow me on any of those. That's just where I do fun things like behind the scenes looks at things coming up. I'll poll you guys on what you want to see, and I'll even do giveaways on there, so make sure to check that out if you would like to. And don't forget to check out my playthrough cover video here where you can jam along with me, and I hope to see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.